Let's talk about forks and spoons and soup. Let's talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers. AQ Shipley has a question for you, JJ.
All right, JJ. Pittsburgh Steelers, when I grew up, it was the standard was you can't let a running back run for over 100 yards.
Mm-hmm.
This week, they ran the same play. It wasn't creative. It was two tight ends, downhill runs over and over and over for 250 yards. What's going on in Pittsburgh?
Yeah, unprecedented. I mean, it was, trust me, I landed at home and I turned on I checked the score and I looked at the box score and I was like, holy shit, what happened?
Yeah.
And then then I found out that it was duo, just over and over and over and over and over and over and over. And it's like, no, you guys couldn't figure it out. Like nobody figured out like, hey, so, I mean, there's some gap integrity issues. There's some tackling issues. There's all sorts of different things there. And clearly, I mean, you listen to the comments from the locker room after the game and they got to figure it out. And they're sitting there, and it's kind of one of those situations where them and Baltimore this weekend, they're both tied for first in the division. And so whoever wins this one is actually going to be sitting in a pretty good spot, but I'm not sure either of them actually feels all that good about where they are right now. And Pittsburgh just seems like the same situation year after year after year. For some reason, the offense can't quite get it going. The defense hasn't been performing that well. They're either feast or famine. They get takeaways or they just get roasted. That's just kind of what it is. It feels like every single game they're waiting for one massive play to split the entire game. And if that doesn't happen, then they really, really struggle.
Ben Roethlisberger was on football, and he said, I'm just kind of spitballing here. Maybe Tomlin just goes and be the head coach of Penn State. Maybe,
there's an idea.
Maybe he gets a new, fresh start. And I think his name was floated for USC a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And he talks about how he
You think he wants to go do recruiting?
LSU? It was LSU? Okay, so a couple years ago it was LSU, I guess, which was being described as the best job in college at that point, because that's how Tomlin's name was even mentioned. It's like, do you think Mike Tomlin, with the amount of years without a playoff victory, with how the fans have starting to kind of turn and everything like that, would he want to take this massive job in college? Then he got in a press conference and said, I have the best job in football. I'm the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he walked off, and I kind of put it to bed. But now it's really loud. It seems louder than ever about this entire situation. More stats are getting thrown out. And Ben Roethlisberger was like, everybody's talking about the Steelers fans wanting a refresh and a reset. It might be good for Tomlin to get a reset as well. And then he just threw out the Penn State job because he's in Pittsburgh around a bunch of them. And there were some people saying, why would he ever say Tomlin wants to go to Penn State? And it sucks that that's how people are viewing Penn State, by the way. Penn State is just like... I don't think Penn State people love that they're being talked. You guys are being talked about as if you were Tulane.
Well, no. Why would anybody want to go to college over the NFL? Like, if you're an NFL head coach, there is no reason why you would rather be a college football head coach.
Who do you think potentially could be good at Penn State you just thought of?
I mean, it just feels as though everything's going south in Vegas and that Pete Carroll's going to get fired and he would be perfect at Penn State.
Now we got to wait till February to get the head coach, which would be pretty late in the entire cycle there.
They're already there.
They're already there. We've already missed the day.
It's too late.
No, it's transfer portal coming.
Just go.
The big one's a transfer portal that's coming up.
Can't hire an 85-year-old. You might as well hire Joe Paul.
Thank you.
They would if they could.
They're gonna end up getting a guy like Matt Campbell from Iowa State, who is a good coach, but who people at Penn State will go ape shit and be like, "This is the guy we waited to hire." Like, that's where it's tracking.
Campbell.
They'll give him an extension.
It's Campbell or Braum or Daboll.
Or Matt Nagy. I still think Matt Nagy's a
Chip
top
Kelly's
tier
free
option.
agent.
All right, let's go back to the Pittsburgh Steelers. They might have figured it out though. Adam Thielen has signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Congratulations to the Demon.
Yeah.
Adam Thielen. That's what they're calling him on the internet. And, there was a tweet from a few days back that said, Mike Tomlin will say something like, we can't eat soup with forks, we need spoons. Then the Steelers will sign a 2018 Pro Bowler to the practice squad. Well, we don't know if the Demon Thielen's on the practice squad or not, but we didn't hear the spoon and fork with the soup line. Could be on the way. It's a great metaphor, actually. And also, Tomlin would say something exactly like that. But we know this guy was a monster in 2018.
Yeah.
I mean, an absolute demon in 2019. There's a chance Adam Thielen gets a resurgence out there with Aaron Rodgers, one of his really close friends. Obviously, they're golfing friends. And the Pittsburgh Steelers are making yet another play as the Minnesota Vikings say, yeah, Adam, you can go finish your career somewhere else if you want to. Tony's trying to talk KOC out of Minnesota so that he can hire him in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh still has a head coach. Okay, has been a head coach for a long time there.
Now he's going to Penn State.
Well, that's what Ben Roethlisberger said, but a lot of people on here said, why the fuck would Mike Tomlin go to Penn
A
State?
lot of people on there that don't know that 7 is our God, so we listen to him.
That's Ben Roethlisberger, who he's referring to. And Ben Roethlisberger still lives in the area. Ben Roethlisberger obviously still very dialed in. Footballing with Ben and Spank is obviously an absolute heater of a show. We appreciate it. We respect it. He did throw some things out about maybe a reset in Pittsburgh. Nobody that has actually been in the building at that particular level, coaching level or anything, says if Mike Tomlin wants to be there, Mike Tomlin will be there. He's kind of earned that. I think a lot of people feel that should be how it is. And then, maybe he does move on. And then maybe he does go to Penn State, who doesn't have a coach. So, AQ, it feels like Penn State's at a big L right now, but they can turn it all around with one hire and one signing and one win next year.